Hey everyone, it's Alexander, the real Mr. Robinson. Welcome to the channel. This is my review for Army of the Dead, which is the latest movie directed by Zack Snyder and his first non-DC movie in 10 years. The movie opens up with a zombie apocalypse that has just taken over all of Las Vegas. So Vegas has been quarantined, it's been blocked off, nobody can get in. There are refugees that are living among the outskirts of Vegas, but it's pretty much a wasteland. A group of mercenaries led by Dave Bautista are hired by a businessman to go into Las Vegas through the quarantine zone past the hordes of zombies to try to steal a vault filled with millions of dollars. But as the movie soon progresses, especially considering that the mercenaries are joined by one of the businessman's associates, we start to really unravel why they're sent in there to begin with. So I have not been the kindest when it comes to Zack Snyder movies. I can't say I'm a Zack Snyder hater because I liked Watchmen. I liked Zack Snyder's Justice League, even though I was convinced that would be a terrible movie. I was wrong on that, but I don't like Man of Steel, and I absolutely hate Batman vs. Superman. But in terms of his non-DC movies, I have yet to watch his remake of Dawn of the Dead, but it seems like everyone's in agreement that that's his best movie. 300 honestly bored me. I thought it was a beautiful looking movie, but goddamn, it was boring. It's been a while since I've seen 300, but I remember not really enjoying it. And as for Legend of the Guardians, I think it's a vastly underrated movie, and very different for Zack Snyder that he'd tackle an animated kids movie. I mean, it's not really for kids, but it might as well be tailored for kids specifically when you take a look at the rest of his filmography. And I still haven't seen Sucker Punch, but based on all the terrible buzz it's been getting these past 10 years, it baffles me why there's a campaign to release an extended cut of it. But regardless, this is not about Zack Snyder's film career. This is about his latest movie, Army of the Dead, which I actually was looking forward to because the trailers looked flashy, it looked like a lot of fun. It had colors, for one thing. I was rewatching his cut of Justice League earlier today while doing some house cleaning, and while I still enjoy the movie, it just bothers me so much that he sucks out all the colors of what should be a very colorful movie. And one of the best parts about this movie is that it doesn't really feel like a Zack Snyder movie. It's bright and colorful. There's not a whole lot of slow motion, and when there is, it's used effectively. And I really had a good time with this movie. I think this is his best since Legend of the Guardians, and it marks the second time in a year that Zack Snyder has surprised me. But I kind of expected it to be more of an over-the-top, balls-to-the-wall action movie, but it has a lot of horror themes to it, to the point where it can be scary, but not so much to the point where it's taken too seriously, because there is a zombie tiger, there are zombies, you have a bunch of over-the-top mercenaries. So Zack Snyder manages to find a perfect balance between lighthearted and fun, and then very grim and scary. The cast is pretty fantastic. You have Dave Bautista as your lead, and I've always been surprised at Dave Bautista's ability as an actor. I like him in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies as Drax, but when you watch him in something like Blade Runner or this, he has quite a lot of range. And in terms of wrestlers turned actors, he really is giving Dwayne Johnson a run for his money. I think Dwayne Johnson is still great. He's pretty much our generation's Arnold Schwarzenegger, but Dave Bautista is really pushing himself to be more of an actor than an action star, and he's very good in this movie. The rest of the cast is pretty spot on. I like the actress who plays his daughter. I love some of the other mercenaries that go along for the ride, even though one of them is clearly Vasquez from Aliens, which I guess there's one problem I have with this movie, and it's a minor complaint, but it borrows a lot from James Cameron's Aliens. Now, I don't think there's anything too wrong with stealing from amazing material, as long as you can put your own spin to it. But there's a sequence near the end of the movie that is literally ripped out of Aliens to the point where there's no suspense at all. I'm not going to go into specifics when it comes to Army of the Dead, but if you've ever watched Aliens, which God, I hope you have. But anyway, near the end of the movie, when the survivors are about to evacuate LV-426, they take a pause so Ripley can go out and rescue Newt. And that entire sequence is almost played out beat for beat in Army of the Dead, to the point where the survivors finally evacuate. I'm like, Zach, we've all seen Aliens. There's no suspense when it comes to directly ripping off this scene because we know what's going to happen. And oh yeah, look, it happened. If you've seen Army of the Dead and if you've seen Aliens, you know exactly the moment I'm talking about. But outside of that one moment, the rest of the movie does a very good job at building suspense. There's a sequence involving a bunch of zombies that are standing while sleeping and our characters have to navigate through them. That's pretty intense. All the zombie effects, whether they be practical or CGI, look great, and the gore is fantastic. The zombie tiger, as over the top as that might sound in the trailer, that thing's pretty scary and delivers probably the coolest death in the movie. And the death by zombie tiger happens to the character that quite frankly deserves it. But if there's another issue I have with the movie, it's this trend of mercenaries going in to do a job, hired by some rich businessman, but for some reason, an affiliate with the businessman has to go with them, and eventually that affiliate causes problems for the actual people who are hired to do this job. We saw that with Isa Gonzalez in Godzilla vs. Kong not too long ago, and a similar situation happens in this movie. And having seen that cliche in two separate movies so close together got a bit tiresome, but outside of that and the scene that has no tension because we've all seen Aliens, I think Army of the Dead is a lot of fun. The cast is fantastic, the action's exciting, it's got some really great scares, the zombies are cool, and for being a 2.5 hour movie, I never felt the length. Like I said before, I was looking forward to this movie, and then when I heard that it was 2.5 hours long, my excitement just plummeted, because I'm like, it's a zombie heist movie, it doesn't need to be 2.5 hours long. But once I actually watched the movie, I'm like, we're already halfway through? That was fast. That flew by fast. So I would say this is worth seeing in your lifetime. If you love action movies, if you love horror and zombies, then this is right up your alley. Like I said before, it's Snyder's best movie since Legend of the Guardians. And I'd watch this again before I ever watched the entirety of Zack Snyder's Justice League, which again, I still like, but I don't have time to watch a 4-hour movie from beginning to end, and I do not think it works episodically. But as for Army of the Dead, it's a lot of fun, but I don't love it enough to really care about the anime or the prequel movie being made. If a sequel comes out, sure, I'll see it, but everything else in terms of Snyder wanting to expand this universe, I just don't think it's interesting enough to warrant all that. But as for the movie itself, a lot of fun. And there you go, that's my review for Army of the Dead. And now I want to know what you guys think about the movie. If you've seen it, what'd you think? Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments below. And until next time, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one. Hello everyone, I just want to say thank you all for watching my review for Army of the Dead. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, go check out my Twitch channel, and support me on Patreon. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.